For implementing this Maathota program, so we observed there was some of the villages, farmers were facing a lot of issues with the drinking water. So we identified 29 such villages and provided drinking water by by using the gravity method. So the springs are located somewhere on the hillocks. So water villages are located at the foothills nearby the springs. So we helped the farmers to we raised some of the donations also as part of the project. We helped the farmers to lay the pipes from the springs and brought the water to the village level, so the farmers will have better access to the water. And even the filter beds are also provided in some of the villages where the silt crop is also happening. So while, as I said earlier, we are basically leaning towards more agri and horticulture based livelihoods. So while working on this water issues, drinking water issues, we also thought, why not we make use of this water, spring water, to provide irrigation to the orchards? Because during the summer season, for 2-3 months, though it is a high rainfall area, between March, April, and summer is there is a lot of the temperatures are high. So in the initial stage, if you can protect the orchard from drying, so it helps the farmer. It helps in quick growing and also helps the farmers in quick. The quick returns can be obtained from the orchards. So we initiated work on the drip irrigation. We connected with the micro irrigation department at the district level and provided irrigation to the Maathota fields. So some of the water tanks were dug either at the upper level of the region or at the higher elevation, so that farmers can draw water from those areas. This 3,000 acres of Maathota was not sanctioned in one go for us. Initially, in 2008, we were sanctioned 1,000 acres. So after 2 years, based on the performance, NABARD has sanctioned another 1,000 acres in 2011. And in 2000, so in these two particular phases, we identified that wherever instead of identifying the farmers at the foothills, why not we take up identify the farmers at the centering around the water source, so that water issue can be solved. Farmers can be, the orchards can be provided proper irrigation in the initial stages, so that there will be less mortality, so that and quick returns can be obtained by the farmers. So in the third phase, from 2011, we moved directly to the wherever water source is there. There we identified the farmers and initiated the orchards. So left hand side, you can see in this picture that it's a completely almost 15 to 18% hill slope is there. So tree platforms were built on those lands. So with the help of the irrigation, they could save their crops. You can see some of the irrigation drip lines in the second picture and at the picture at the bottom. So with the help of the micro irrigation program, as well as from the project, we almost provided irrigation to 800 plus acres in this Maathota project. So as we were doing this project, see the picture that you see here, it gives a complete paradox. It said, so on the upper hand picture, you can see the picture is from the same village. So on the on the left hand side, the picture, you see water is flowing from besides that village. So very few farmers could get the water whose fields are just besides the stream. They're able to make use of the water and produce crops. Whereas the vast patches are being kept vacant, especially in the Rabi season. It is a high rainfall area. Kharif, they get very good crop, but the post-Kharif, almost 90% of the land is vacant. People don't go except where they go for the oilseed crop like maize. Rest of the land is completely vacant. So this is also putting their cattle at risk, because when there's no fodder, people started selling cattle in the shanties. So again, when they start agricultural operation, they feel a lot of pressure on the existing cattle. So this situation, while we were discussing this situation, we came across in an organization called Water and Livelihood Foundation in Hyderabad. He gave us a good idea. Like, since you have already initiated gravity-based irrigation for the individual farmers, why not you make a cluster of the fields and provide irrigation, initiate gravity-based irrigation network system. So we thought this is a good idea. So we worked, and also situation is very ripe. Farmers were having, there's a lot of scope for initiating the gravity-based irrigation systems. And also there is a need, because the vast lands are being kept vacant. Fodder is not available for the cattle. So all these situations made us to think about initiate a different kind of activity called gravity-based irrigation network systems. So in this particular system, you can see this from this picture, water is drawn from across almost 3 kilometers away from the cluster of fields. So at the source point, we constructed the check dam so that we will not disturb the natural course of water and make use of the only 5 to 10% of the water from the check dam and divert that water to a cluster of fields that are located some 2 or 3 kilometers away from the water source. In that way, the situation no water situation can be avoided, at least to initiate a cluster of the fields where farmers are willing to take some risk and invest some time and human resources as well as financial resources, because it is a basic, this particular gravity-based irrigation network, it is a capital intensive. In the first year, whatever amount is required, it has to be invested in the first year, but the returns are very good. So you can see a trench was dug almost 3 kilometers from this source. The next, this slide shows different stages of the gravity-based irrigation system in particular village called Logili. So you can see the farmers, they were involved in each and every step, like digging in the trench, laying the trench, and that water pipe was laid even across the road. So you can see the water outlet in the farmers' field, and farmers growing the rabi crop, growing a rabi crop in the particular village. So this helped us to gain some confidence among the farmers, and based on the performance of the particular system in the first year, we also went for another system in the second village, that is called Panasaputtu village. So you can see the different stages of the picture. So in this particular village, the 53 farmers from having 56 acres were made into a network of cluster farmers. Then we talked to the farmers, and they also came forward to invest their time as well as some at least 20% of their investment in both in terms of kind as well as cash. So rest of the amount was provided by the Ajim Premji Foundation as part of the project. So we did this, we implemented this project in this particular village, where not only the 56 acres of the acres of the cluster, even the farmers just lying behind, besides these 56 acres, also got the benefit by taking the water from these outlets. So the issue of fodder for the cattle was addressed. People could go for the rabi crop irrigation, and people go for the high value crops like vegetables in these areas and made good amount of returns. The one condition that we put in this particular, wherever we initiate this activity, is people should not go for the paddy, because paddy is a less water efficient crop. There are many other crops like millets, which are more water efficient, energy efficient. They can be grown. See, paddy requires at almost 1200 millimeters of water, whereas if they go for finger millet, it requires only 300 millimeters of water. So almost 1/3 of the water can be used for growing the same acreage of millets. So that's why we promote other crops other than paddy. So the beauty of this particular system is water sharing. So all the farmers cannot use open the outlets on the same day. So we did a social engineering and asked made farmers into 5 groups. So the 5 groups are based on subline. From the main lane, we divide the farmers into different sublines. So for each subline, one particular day. So for example, Monday, one particular subline farmers can only make use of the water from the check dam. Tuesday, some other second subline farmer. In that way, there are no conflict. We try to see that there are no conflicts for the water, because when there is a water, naturally the conflicts crop up. So just to avoid all the situation, right from the beginning, they have to give it in writing that they will share the water. There will not be any conflict. They'll make a committee in the water use association committee, and they have to raise some at least 500 to 600 rupees every year. So and keep this amount in the bank, just to make sure that if there is any many maintenance charges are required, like for example flanges, they have to replace the flanges. If they want to they have to replace some of the outlets. So that kind of activities can be taken up with the kind of pooled money. So with this kind of activity, we are able to see that farmers are able to grow for the second crop. In this particular area, second crop is almost 90% of the area is kept fallow in the Rabi season. So though it is it has able to cater only 50 to 100 acres, but at least it could show an iota of hope. Like instead of wasting a lot of money in energy in this particular system, water, by providing water, they can make use of the gravity without using any maintenance cost, without using any power. They can provide water to the fields. That is the beauty of this particular system.